Hi guys, welcome back to Python programming class. Congratulations, we have completed chapter one of Murach's Python programming textbook, and we're about to start chapter two of Murach's Python programming. And in the chapter one, we explored the history of Python. We learn about how to create simple console application and gain insight into how Python compiles and runs source code, including the difference between main memory and disk storage. And now it's time to start writing real code. So in this chapter, we will shift from the theory to the practice. So you will begin developing your basic coding skills by writing simple Python programs using IDO, the integrated development environment introduced in chapter 1. We will guide ourselves through working with core programming concepts such as data type, variables, numeric values, and strings. And you will also get hands-on experience with 5 essential built-in Python functions and see how they help you write cleaner and more efficient code. Along the way, you will reinforce your understanding through programming illustrations that bring each concept to life. Um, by the end of this chapter, uh, you would you would have written your first working Python programs, and more importantly, you will understand the logic behind behind the code that you've written. So we will begin this chapter with basic coding skills, and we're going to start with recommendations. Number one, whenever you are writing your variables, make sure that you start your variable names with lowercase letter. And what do we mean by variable? Say, for instance, uh, you want to assign value to monthly investment, monthly investment. And I'm going to explain this in a minute, but say monthly investment. Say you want to assign variable to monthly investment. You want to assign 5,000 to monthly investment. Okay, make sure monthly underscore investment, make sure it's written in lowercase letter. And you can as well use uppercase, but the reason why the recommendation was made was because so that you can write or type faster. And whenever you are assigning a variable name, make sure you give a variable name that is representative of the variable itself. You say monthly underscore investment, monthly underscore investment. If you write something like this, mon underscore inv equals to 5,000, people will not really understand what you mean by this. But if you spell it out like this, people will really understand what you are talking about. So it's very important that when you are creating a variable name, use a name that is very representative of the content. The another thing is that avoid using abbreviations that are specific to a specific field. And also moreover, if you want to use abbreviation, make sure you use something that people are familiar with. For instance, PMG. PMG is common thing that people are familiar with, which means miles per gallon. But if you say CPM, who knows what does that? Who knows what that means? It could mean a number of things. So avoid using abbreviations, and if you want to use it, make sure you use something that people are used to. Next one is that when you are naming variables in Python, there are two styles that you can use in your naming. You can use snake style notation and you can use camel case notation. Snake what you call snake style notation is when you have an underscore in between two long words, like here, like the one that we use here to demonstrate monthly underscore investment. You notice that these are two long words, so in between monthly and investment you introduce what do you call it, you introduce an underscore. So this kind of naming variable is called snake case notation. So we're going to talk about how to comment, but we're going to talk about how to comment, so don't worry. So this is snake case method. Then another method that you can use is that you can combine the two long words together instead of having an instead of having underscore in between them. You can combine the two words together, but the first letter of the second one will be uppercase. That one is called camel case notation method. So let me show you monthly investment. Monthly investment, so we assign 5,000 to it. You don't say equals to. This is an assignment operator. So you say assign. That's what we use in Python. That's how to assign variables. So monthly investment, 5,000 is assigned to monthly investment, and this type of naming is called camel case. This is called camel. This is a camel case method. Camel case. Okay, and and what I did here was basically I was writing a comment on this. This type of comment is called inline. If you write it, if I put the comment above here, it's called block. If I put it here, yeah, if I put the comment above it, it's called, if I put in the comment above here, is called block style. Yeah, block method of commenting. Then if you write it on the side, it's called inline. Okay, so don't forget that. So let's continue. Then next, we've talked about basic recommendations that you need to follow. Now let's talk about naming rules, naming variables, the rules behind naming variables. The first thing you have to keep in mind is that there are key words, key reserved words in Python. You cannot use any of these words here whenever you are naming variable. It's going to create syntax error. That's the first thing you need to know. Then secondly, a variable name must be begin with a letter or an underscore. Whenever you are naming your variable, you can start with an underscore. Say underscore monthly investment, monthly investment. So let's assign 2,000 to it. Now let's print it to see if this is going to work. So underscore, so you can just hit enter, then print that. If we print it, let's see what's going to happen. So we print it, what happened? So it printed out 2,000, which means that you can name your variable, you can start naming your variable with an underscore. Okay, then the next one, a variable name cannot contain spaces, punctuations, or special character other than an underscore. So whenever you are naming your variable, you cannot have any special character in your variable. You cannot have space, you cannot have any special character. Um, the only special character you can have while naming your variable is an underscore. The rest you cannot. Say first name, let's put space between them. Okay, equals to, let's assign it to first name. A name is a character, so you don't worry about this right now. You're going to understand all these string data type in the next couple of videos. So say James, if you look at this now, it's already underlying it. Python is already underlying it for you to let you know that something is going wrong here. So let's try and print it and see what's going to happen. If you try to print it, you can say print first name. Let's see what's going to happen. Syntax error. So let's wait for it to run. Read. Can you see that? Syntax error, which means you cannot have space. So remember that whenever you are naming variables, you cannot have any special character. The only special character you can have is an underscore. Anything other than that is going to create syntax error. And the variable name can't begin with a number. Remember that whenever you are naming variable, you cannot have what do you call it? You cannot have a number. You cannot start with a number. Say you have 1_monthly investment. So let's assign that to 6,000. So we assign 6,000 to 1_monthly investment, and let's see what that's going to do for us. So let's try with a number. And also remember that reserved word in Python, you cannot name your variables with reserved word in Python. Okay, then let's try this quiz to test our knowledge. Uh, to test our knowledge, naming how to on how to name variables in Python. If you look at this, which of the following is a valid variable name? Which of the following is a valid variable name? First dash name. This is wrong. This is a special character. You can have that. The B start with a number. That's wrong. If you look at the third one, this is good variable name. If you look at the last one, it has spaces. So this is wrong. The correct answer here is C. If you look at the second one, which variable name will cause an error? Here, this is a camel case. This is snake case. This is also a snake. This is also a camel case. The only one will be print. Print is a reserved word, so it will create error. Then when you come here, choose the variable that follows good naming rules. This start with numbers, wrong. This has special character, wrong. This one, user_name, this is the correct one because you can know what the variable is talking about. And true or false, variable names can start with a number. No. Full name, second place is assigned to James is assigned to second place. This, if you need to fix now, you just need to write this in Word. Just write second_place is then assign it to James. And this last one, I want you to try it yourself. Just like here, the second place, just say second place, second_place is assigned to James. So, and if you print it, and this is the correct way of correcting that, and this is going to be the end of the first video in the second chapter.